What's up, Rock Flock? This is Rockhawk64. Excuse me, and we have another Showdown battle. This time I have an arranged battle um, with one of the kind folks here in a league called the Dragon Knights. His name is DragonChamp Slash. Um, I know the screen's kind of small, but I'm just telling him to say hello to YouTube. What I'm going to do before I actually challenge DragonChamp Slash, who, by the way, is saying hi to his mother. Um, I'm actually going to go ahead and discuss my team a little bit. Exactly, what all I'm going to use. Oh, and Jay has to go. Anyways, I'm going to, because I'm going to be using my mono fighting type team. And so I'm just kind of go over my tactics and everything a little bit. Since I kind of didn't do that the last battle. Um, let's see. First, I have first in the lineup, but not necessarily my lead. I have a Conkeldurr. It's holding leftovers, and its ability is Guts. Leftovers will recover 6% of its HP each turn, and Guts, whenever it's afflicted with status burn, paralysis, poison, and the like, it actually doubles. Well, it doesn't double, but it increases the attack stat. And the best part is burn, which normally reduces your attack. With guts, it doesn't actually get that attack drop. And I've given it the moves Drain Punch. Actually, here, let me go into the details here. Well, no, I guess this is as detailed as it gets. But at least this way we can see one at a time. I've given it the move Drain Punch, which recovers half the damage dealt. Mach Punch, which is a level 1 priority move, which lets it move in fast. And you'll see why I did that here soon. I gave it Bulk Up, which increases its attack and defense by 1. And I gave it Ice Punch to basically cover flying type, ground types, something like that might normally give Conkeldurr some trouble. Since this is a monotype fighting team. Over here, the EVs, the effort values. IVs I always keep perfect just because. But I've made Conkeldurr into what's called a bulky physical sweeper, as you see here. It has 252 EVs in HP, which gives it a total HP of 414. And I've given it 252 EVs in attack. And it also has a nature. Here you see its adamant nature, which actually gives it even more of a boost to its attack stat, which brings its attack up to 416, at the cost of reducing its special attack stat, which, as you can see, Conkeldurr doesn't really use. And since you can have up to technically 510 EVs, but EVs are actually the way they work. It's every four at level 100, every 4 EVs is +1 to a stat. So what Showdown does is they actually have it set up so that you only can put in 508 and you're not wasting those 2 EVs. But anyways, I put the last 4 in special defense, just to give it just to be able so it can take those just a little bit better. And I've given it the name KO because he knocks stuff out, especially when he gets set up with a couple of bulk ups and starts pulling Mach Punch sweeps. um, Next is what I use as my ace. It is a Breloom. I've nicknamed it Mario's Meal just because it kind of reminds me of a mushroom from Mario, especially the pre-evolution. It's actually holding a Toxic Orb, which inflicts it with severely poisoned status. But its ability is Poison Heal, which basically means whenever it's poisoned, it actually recovers HP instead of losing it. It recovers about 12% HP per turn. And see, normally with Toxic, normally the damage slowly worsens over time, but like I said, with the Poison Heal, we don't have to worry about that. I've given it the moves Seed Bomb, which gets a same type attack bonus off of, and Focus Punch, because this is actually a dual type fighting grass. So it has Seed Bomb, it has Focus Punch. Seed Bomb doesn't really have any additional effect other than, it just attacks the enemy. Focus Punch, actually, what it does is the user appears to move first because it tightens its focus, and then if it gets hit, it loses its focus and it doesn't attack. Now, normally that's problematic, but these other two moves take care of it. I've also given it Spore, which actually makes the target fall asleep unless it's a grass type, or has an ability that prevents it from sleeping, like Insomnia. And then the other move is Substitute, which actually what this will means is that Breloom takes 25% of its HP and makes a substitute that it can hide behind. It protects it from status, and basically if I get a substitute up, I can sit there and use Focus Punch, and if I get hit, the substitute's going to take the damage. And even if the substitute fades, unless it's a multi-hitting attack like, oh, Icicle Spear from a Cloyster or something, I'm pretty much guaranteed a hit with Focus Punch. As far as EVs and everything, I've given it 4 HP EVs. Just for slightly a little bit more bulk. I've invested 252 EVs in its attack stat, which leaves it with 359. And then I've invested the other 252 in its speed, and its nature is Jolly, which increases the speed even more, so it gives it a speed of 262, which lets it outrun a good number of things in order to put them to sleep. And then obviously it's reducing its special attack stat, which as you can see it does not really use. Issue with this one is it's kind of frail. If it gets, especially with flying types, because fighting is weak to flying and grass is weak to flying, so that means if it gets hit with a flying type, it's done for. Next is my lead. It's an Infernape. I've named it Fist of Fury just because. It's holding a Focus Sash, which if it's at full HP and it takes a hit that would normally knock it out, it actually lets Infernape survive with 1 HP. Its ability is Blaze, which increases the amount, which when Infernape's HP gets below 33%, it increases the amount that fire type attacks do by, I believe it's 33%. Let me double check that there. No, 1.5 damage. Okay, yeah, it's 1.5 damage. I've given it the stab, same type attack bonus or stab move of close combat. And I've also given it Overheat to take advantage of that, and this also kind of lets Infernape kind of really hit either a special wall or a physical wall hard, which uh, those are actually fairly common on some teams. Also, the main reason it has a Focus Sash is so I have a guaranteed turn to set up these Stealth Rocks, which is called an entry hazard. And what that does basically is uh, whenever a Pokemon switches in, it's going to take damage from the Stealth Rock. Now it factors it as a Rock type weakness, so some Pokemon are going to take more and some Pokemon are going to take less. And in the last move slot, I've given it Fake Out, which hits first. It's a first turn only, first turn, first strike move. It always causes flinching. The only thing it's not going to cause to flinch is a Ghost type, because you can see here the typing is normal. I don't know how really well you can see that, but basically normal type and fighting type obviously don't affect Ghost type Pokemon. So really, if it's not a Ghost, it's going to flinch. And this actually also typically breaks either, it's what terms is called quote unquote breaking either a Focus Sash or the ability Sturdy, which is basically like a free Focus Sash. Next I have my Keldeo. I was really original with this and called it MLP. It's actually holding a Choice Scarf, which the increases the holder's speed by 1.5, but it can only use one move. I've given it the ability Justify, since that's the only ability it can have. An attack is boosted by 1 if it's hit by a dark type attack. Not really all that important considering this is actually set up as a special sweeper. Its moves are Surf, which gets same type attack bonus, and if a Pokemon is using Dive, it actually hits twice as hard. It has the move Secret Sword, which even though it's a special attacking move, uh, instead of the damage being based off of the target's special defense stat, it's based off of their defense stat. Really great for facing down a special wall. I've given it Hidden Power Ghost for some coverage against Psychic types and Ghost types. Excuse me. And the last move slot has Icy Wind, which actually lowers the Pokemon that gets hit. It lowers its speed by one stage. EVs, I went with the special Scarf set of EVs. Has 252 invested in special attack, 4 in special defense, and 252 in speed. It has a speed beneficial nature. In this case, it's timid, which reduces the not needed attack stat. Next, I have my Lucario. It actually is holding Lucario Knight, which lets it Mega Evolve into Mega Lucario. The initial ability is Steadfast on it, which basically, but you know, but the Mega Evolution takes place first, so you not really gonna see Steadfast go into effect. I set my Lucarios up as Special Sweepers because their special attack stat is actually higher than their attack stat, and I just realized that my EVs are wrong. Maybe that's why I've been having trouble with this. But anyways, it has Aura Sphere, which always hits no matter how high the opponent's evasion is or how low your accuracy is. I've given it Psychic for coverage against Fighting type and Poison type Pokemon, which it doesn't really have much of anything for on the special set. It has Flash Cannon, which actually is mainly used to counter Fairy type Pokemon, which are trouble for Fighting type teams since Fairy is super effective. And the last thought, I've decided to give it Dragon Pulse to kind of give it just a little bit more coverage, mainly versus dragons. And the EVs here, this is actually supposed to be Timid Nature, which increases its speed and decreases its attack. And it's supposed to have these 252 EVs here. Alright, sorry about that, folks. Something caused Fraps to quit working. But anyways, like I was saying, these 200... in case you didn't catch near the end of that there, I had a mix-up with the effort values. So there, maybe that was why I was having some issues fighting this team. Now, actually, here's a good example of how much these EVs can make a difference. You see right there, it's special attack. Well, I don't know how well you can see. It's 266. As soon as I type in the 252 there, it goes up to 329. And so then the last Pokemon is a new Generation 6 Pokemon called Hawlucha. I've given this one the item Power Herb, which whenever it uses a move that takes 2 turns to attack, it automatically lets you use it. Its ability is Unburden, so as soon as that's used, Hawlucha's speed is going to double. I've given it the moves Fly, which is a 2-turn attack, so Power Herb is going to activate on that. It has an interesting move called Flying Press. It's both Fighting type and Flying type at the same time. I've also given it Rock Slide for a little bit of coverage, and Poison Jab as a secondary check to Fairy types. And actually, I don't want a speed beneficial nature. I want an attack beneficial nature. I've given this a standard physical sweeper set, 4 EVs and HP, 252 in attack with an attack beneficial nature. And this is actually adamant nature, so its special attack is getting reduced, and then it also has 252 in speed. So yeah, actually you can see the speed here is 335, so actually really it's going to be quite a potent. It's really going to just blistering fast. Really, the only way you can outrun it is if you have another unburdened user that has a higher speed, or if you have priority. So that's the team I'm going to be facing. Now I'm just going to see if DragonChamp Slash, or as I call him, Slash, is ready. And then, like I said, we're just going to battle him. Alright, let's challenge him. Let's see. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm just letting him know that he can use whatever kind of team he wants. If he wants to use a monotype team, he can. If he wants to use more of a mixed standard team like you'd face in a league, or from a league challenger, he can also do that. But I'm gonna be using this fighting type team that I just discussed with you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and issue the challenge to him. Alright, and here the battle is started. Looks like he's using a mixed type team, so this should be interesting. As usual, I always tell him good luck, have fun. And I'm going to go ahead and start with my usual lead. Ow, volume is a little loud. You're gonna see my volume over here over the chat just because that's a little loud. Okay, that's better. I'm gonna go ahead and start out with a fake out, and he's going to switch to Ferrothorn, who is going to easily take that attack. And I'm hurt by Ferrothorn's Iron Barbs and its Rocky Helmet. Those of you that actually watched my last video, you'll recognize that same tactic that I used. Now I'm faster, so I'm gonna go ahead and actually get rid of this thing with an... Or I'm not gonna get rid of an Overheat because he's going to predict me. Typical. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw out some Stealth Rocks, and hopefully I can outspeed his Rotom Wash, which I do. And he's going to try to burn me and fail, because fire types are immune to burn, if I remember correctly. He thought I would switch. Nope. Oh good, his Hydro Pump missed. Let's see if we can get out into the close combat. I mean, Infernape is supposed to die quickly. He's an anti-lead because he's really just supposed to get in there, get the rock set up, do damage, and die. That's its job. And he sends out an Aegislash, who is immune to close combat. But I have Overheat on my side. And he has a weakness policy on us, so his attack and special attack is doubled. And now he's doubled his speed with Autotomize, which is a steel type move that doubles the user's speed. So, right now... Oh wow. Somehow I'm still outspeeding. How did I outspeed that? Oh, maybe his Aegislash just doesn't have much speed behind it. Let's see. Who do I want to use now? Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna switch into Keldeo here. And since it's Scarfed, it should outspeed. We're gonna use Hidden Power since in... Oh, and he uses King Shield, which protects him. Also, King Shield, it's kind of like Aegislash's signature move. As you can see, it switches it from its blade form, from basically its attack to a defense form. But basically, this Hidden Power is Ghost type. Normally, that would be neutral damage, but with Generation 6, they actually removed the steel resistance to Dark and Ghost type. As you can see, that works quite well in my favor. And you're going to Pain Split. Why do you have to be so annoying? Okay, here's what we're gonna do. It's time to call in the ace. And, as always, well, something new I'm started. Hashtag Fear the Breloom. He sends off Ferrothorn and sponges my Spore. Of course. And he says he fears it. Smart man. Very smart man. But we're going to switch to Anubis. And we're going to easily take a Gyro Ball. So now we're going to Mega Evolve and Aura Sphere. Just because I'm confident. Oh, he protected. I was going to say I'm confident that he won't switch, but I wasn't. I kind of should have seen the Protect coming, but really that doesn't really change much of anything. Hang on. Just in case he switches. Well, if he doesn't switch... Oh... hope that and he switches, of course. Oh, actually something that's going to take some damage, though. So yeah, I'm just gonna finish off his Rotom Wash. I like Mega Lucario, and this is actually working a lot better than it did when I had it. For some odd reason, it's an attack. And this is where I kind of miss having Dark Pulse. Because normally I'd just be able to Dark Pulse that and be super effective. Instead, I'm just gonna have to make do with Flash Cannon. And I sponge a Psychic? I sponge a Stab Psychic from an Espeon. That's awesome. So Espeon's down for the count. Just because I'm at an advantage right now, though, does not mean I'm going to actually be at advantage for long. He's probably got weakness policy on that Dragonite, but I'm going to hit Dark Pulse anyway, or Dragon Pulse anyways, just to see if we can KO it possibly. No, he's probably going to go for Extreme Speed. If he hits me with Extreme Speed, I'm not going to be able to last. It just all depends on what he's gonna do. Yeah, extreme speed. I had the feeling. Let's see. That means I can actually... Let's test Hawlucha out against this. We're gonna go ahead and try and activate our Unburden. I always try and do that as soon as possible. And yeah, that's actually works out quite well. Ouch, I forgot about Extreme Speed priority. Now see, Extreme Speed's actually interesting as a priority move. It's actually a priority, I believe, stage 2 or stage 3. And one of the elites is saying that he uses Sky Attack for that instead of Fly, but I don't know, I might have to look into that. For now though, I'm gonna hit a bulk up because Conkeldurr is going to be able to take this guy's physical attacks well, not necessarily all the live along the way, but he should be able to sponge at least one, maybe two. I don't know if I want to really risk a second bulk up though. So I'm just gonna hit it with an Ice Punch. Oh, he Dragon Danced. Good. That means I can KO him. Excellent. That worked out well for once. That's always risky because sometimes they'll do something else that is actually going to screw me over. And this Greninja, pretty frail, considering it's Water Dark type. I can hit it with Priority Mach Punch. And fortunately he didn't have Shadow Sneak on it, or else that could have screwed me over because he's faster, so his priority would hit first and then my Mach Punch would be rendered useless. So now I'm just going to bulk up here a bit, one, maybe two more times. Oh, he's gonna Leech Seed me, of course. Well, 2 can play the HP draining game, and I'm super effective, I believe. Yeah, and that was actually a pretty good match. So always you end off with good game. So actually I want to go ahead, Dragon Slash, if you go to watch this later, I want to go ahead and give you a special shout out. This was a very interesting match. And for the rest of you guys watching, this has been Rockhawk64. This has been another Pokemon Showdown Frost Battle. So just remember, guys, to have fun with life and enjoy it too. I'll see you guys around next time on the next update video. So goodbye for now. Peace out.